What's up, my beautiful people? This is your boy Stefan, your Afro-Grenadian ambassador. Welcome back, one and all, to my channel. To all my subscribers, viewers, and those of you who have been returning, watching my videos time and time again, I appreciate you. And my channel members, a big shout out to you. Don't forget to watch all the ads that are placed on my videos. I greatly appreciate it. Well, in today's video, my friends, we are learning that two nations from Africa has been granted or have been granted prominent seats, but they have not been given the right when it comes to veto power. Now, that is something, for me, I don't know what to make of this, because you cannot give somebody seats and you don't give them the rights as all other nations. So the question is, what is the purpose of those African nations? Or what is the purpose of Africa? Because these two nations represent Africa at large. What is their purpose? We continue to see, guys, that neo-colonialism do exist. For those of us who bury our heads in the sand and pretend as neo-colonialism does not exist, or there's a new wave or new form of colonialism in this modern age today, then we better wake up and smell the coffee, because we are saying that Africa is once again being restricted, being looked down, as inferior to the others. And so we will take a look at this information and what we are learning. The US will announce Thursday support for two African countries as permanent members of the UN Security Council, UNSC, without veto power as part of proposed reforms. So can you imagine that two African nations or countries are recognized as permanent members, but they do not have veto rights? Does this make sense? Is this really happening in our modern world today? Guys, imagine this. You give two African nations permanent status, but they do not have rights when it comes to veto power, because veto power is that authority that you have, that when certain bills are proposed in the UN, you can vote for it or you can vote against it. Africa does not have that right to vote. US envoy to the UN Linda Thomas Greenfield is set to unveil Washington's vision for UNC reform, according to a senior American official, saying the US will advocate for the addition of two new African seats to the Council. The official said the seats should not include veto rights, arguing that African representation would strengthen the Council's legitimacy. So this is really, this is laughable. What the US United States is doing. You are advocating for two African nations, or for Africa to be on the Council of the UN, the Security Council of the UN, but they should not have veto rights. That does not make sense to me. That does not add up. And if that's the case, I think that the two nations that are considered to be on the Council, the Security Council of the UN, should not accept such offer if they are not given rights. But as you know, the African nations that the US and the Western powers normally targets are those who they have on the strings. So I would not be surprised that such African nation, will still accept the offer and be like children to these people. They will sit down in that council there and don't have the rights and power, and they will behave as though that everything is okay and all right. The official noted that expanding the veto power would further paralyze the council and reiterate the U.S. support for increased representation for India, Germany, Japan, and Latin America and the Caribbean. Now, let me read this again. They say that the official said, noted that expanding the veto power would further paralyze the council. Can you imagine this? How would this paralyze the council? It will rather empower the council or the UN when Africa has a voice, and reiterate the U.S. support for increased representation for India, Germany, Japan, and Latin America and the Caribbean, with aims to have more representative and more credible in the Security Council. The official said the U.S. proposed creating a non-permanent seat for small island developing states. So now come to the Caribbean. The U.S. is proposing that we are given non-permanent residence for small Caribbean. So you see how these people continue to look down upon the Caribbean and Africa? We're small, so, we are inferior. So we don't deserve permanent seats in the council. They are little children. They are small fries. Basically, what the U.S. is saying, give them something, but don't give them that recognition or that voice. That is how these people are operating in today's modern world. Neocolonialism, the imperialist. That is who they are, and they continue. Just as how their ancestors have done in the past, they continue with this attitude today, citing the importance of their voices in matters of peace and security. Noting the U.S. readiness to engage in negotiations to implement the vision, the official said the U.S. would take the proposal to a UN General Assembly vote to amend the UN Charter and work with other countries on the process. And that is why the UN will always be the hypocritical organization that they are. How can you bring nations together around the world for one common good when you continue to treat other nations as though they are not of value, they don't have importance, and you don't give them the rights like other nations? How will you bring the world together and make the world a better place when you continue to favor some above the other? That is the world that we are living in today, my friends. That is why I continue to be motivated with this channel, on this platform, advocating that as Caribbean nations and as Africa, we need to more than ever come as one. They will not do it for us. They will continue to be a hurdle and a stumbling block to us. They will continue to make it difficult to keep us separated. That is why, as Africa and the Caribbean, we have to come together and make this reality, well, not to make this vision, because it is still a vision, because we don't have straight flights. There's a lot of things we cannot do as yet. But we have that power to make this vision a reality. We have to do it ourselves, because these people continue to demonstrate that they are not for us. They continue to show us the kind of people that they are. They are a people that thinks that they are superior because, their nation is developed, or, they have the technology, they have the resources, that they are more superior to other nations, and especially black nations, that we are nothing to them, that we should always be under their feet. We should always be under their authority. We should always be under their dictatorship. Because the UN is not a democratic nation. Because to restrict the rights of people is dictatorship. It is communism. And these are the very same people that promotes democracy. These are the very same people that goes after authoritarian communist leaders, that goes after dictators, that goes after countries that are doing well under one policy and under one government, and demonize them. You see how this world that we are living in today is so evil. This is what evil is. This is evil right there. This is evil. Because you restrict us as black people, you take away our rights, and we do not have a voice. So therefore, it leaves us powerless. Guys, I want to play this short clip for you of my brother from Zimbabwe. I believe he's from Zimbabwe. He made a very, very important point that I think we should listen to.
You will notice that in most cases, when they want to talk about Africa, they will bring you somebody looking like you. They must make sure he's black, because if the person looks white, then it sounds like colonization, like slavery. They need to make sure to, to soften the tone. They need to bring somebody that looks just like you if they want to be hard on you, because if a white person was telling you, we're not giving you veto power, it looks weird, right? Yeah. It has to be somebody black like you.
And that is so true. This is a strategy and the tactics that these Western people, Westerners, imperialists, neo-colonizers are doing, especially when it comes to the black nations, to black countries, to keep us where they want us to be, to keep us impoverished, underdeveloped, to keep us from empowering ourselves as black people. That is why I do not support what is going on in Haiti, the deployment of troops in Haiti, because look at what they're doing. It would be strange and weird, or it would be too clear, too evident when they as white people go there and they take what they want. So what they will do, or what they are doing, they are using our very own black brothers and sisters to go and carry out their plans, to go and carry out their agenda. And so sad to see, it is the same tactics they used in enslaved times. They manipulated many of our foreparents to betray our foreparents that were sent here in the New World. And I don't blame some of our black brothers and sisters who are in over there in Haiti. Some of them maybe were manipulated, promised all kinds of things. So I don't blame them. Guys, we need to wake up as black people and come together as much as we can. Connect. Now is the time to connect. And now is the time for us to achieve our objective. They will not do it for us. We have to fight and struggle for it, just as how our people who have been here before us fought and struggled for what they believed in. So guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. See you next time in the upcoming videos.